fighting conditions in the Vietnam War, the Bush. For many soldiers in the United States, the Vietnam War was unlike any war they had fought before. Instead of having clearly defined enemy lines, there was only lush jungle. In addition, it was the first major war in which guerrilla tactics were heavily used against U.S. soldiers. The enemy had the upper hand here, leaving the soldiers, who had little knowledge of the terrain and were unused to the climate, at a general disadvantage with an ever-lowering morale. Summer in Vietnam is the rainy season, and the downpour stretches from the Annam Cordillera Mountains of the west to the 1,000-mile coastline of the east. In South and Central Vietnam, monsoons last from June through November. In the north, summer lasted from April or May to October, with high heat and the occasional typhoon to accompany the ever-present rainfall. Winter in the south consisted of high temperatures, in the north, of monsoon winds. From February to March there would be a persistent drizzle. In Vietnam, there was no escaping from the rain or heat. Under the cover of foliage, the soldiers would have to cut through various grasses and other plants, leaving them at the mercy of the Viet Cong, who were already adapted to the terrain. The Viet Cong left the jungle riddled with traps. One such trap was the Punji trap, in which a grass covering hid spikes in a pit beneath. The spikes would be covered with dirt or feces to infect those who fell on them. The American solution to having to fight in the jungle was evening the battlefield. Herbicides were dropped in Vietnam, nicknamed the rainbow herbicides, for the color on the barrel indicating which herbicide was within. Their nicknames were Agents Pink, White, Blue, Green, Purple, and the infamous Agent Orange. The purpose of these herbicides was defoliation, or the removing of leaves and plant life. This would take away the Viet Cong's hiding places. However, the Viet Cong found a way around this through the use of their extensive tunnel system. These tunnels covered over 50 square miles, with room for barracks, storage rooms, and hospitals. The deepest tunnels were up to 23 feet below ground, and the entire complex could hold 16,000 soldiers. From these tunnels, the Viet Cong would hide their movements and plan hit-and-run attacks on the American soldiers. Trapdoors were hidden carefully to avoid detection. On the part of the U.S. soldiers, those with slim builds were chosen to scout the tunnels and were known as tunnel rats. However, because they lacked the familiarity the Viet Cong had with the tunnels, these soldiers ran the risk of getting caught in the tunnel's booby traps, which included the ground beneath them collapsing into a pit of spikes, or the encountering of a wild animal. In addition, there was always the chance that the tunnel would cave in, leaving the person that was trapped to die a lonely death of suffocation. Many men that returned home after the Vietnam War developed PTSD. In other wars, men were trained as a unit, fought as a unit, and sent home as a unit. But in the Vietnam War, it was closer to every man for himself. Squadrons would be on their own for days, constantly having to deal with the fear of jungle rot and other conditions, or a sudden attack by the Viet Cong. Once they returned home, some could never escape the feeling that they had to return to the jungle, or the feelings of isolation left behind from that ordeal.